So turn down the lights, lock the door. It's time for DJs After Dark.
Hey everybody, welcome to DJs After Dark. My name is Danny J. You're on the DJB Productions Network. Hit the subscribe button down below, hit the notification bell, leave us some comments, and obviously share the channel with everybody. We want everybody to enjoy all the great content here on the DJB Productions Network. Now, today we got a great show. We're going to be talking about, let's see it here, we're going to be talking about the relationship between the dancer and the DJ. What I mean by that is in different adult nightclubs, you have dancers, you have DJs, and what's going to go on in between that and the types of relationships, and maybe we'll talk about some funny stories, etc. Of course, on the show, we got my good man, Eddie C.
Hey now, hello.
We got Matt Sutter.
Hey.
We got Dr. Rock Ray Thomas.
Hey, hi. Who's wearing the toilet paper? We're going to find you.
Yay.
Great.
We got Rob Cannon's chair. There's Rob.
Oh, Rob. Hey,
There he is.
adjust my camera.
And we got special guest Cyndi Snow.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hi. Cyndi, if you would please, if you can give your bio for everybody to let them know what you've done.
Well, obviously, you all know I was a wrestler. Actually, to become a wrestler, we all have to work, right? So what do you want to do? You need flexible hours. You need lots of money to support that old wrestling habit. So I was a go-go dancer in the Bada Bing. I worked at Lookers. I worked at Cheeks. I worked at Heartbreakers. I mean, you make the circuit, but my home base was Staten Dolls, which is AKA the Bada Bing. And working there, got a lot of opportunities. Sorry, something happened here.
You're good.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
And, so, working at the Bada Bing, got a lot of opportunities. My boss was awesome. My roommate, he was actually working there as well. So it just worked out great. I got to be in The Sopranos because of that.
Right.
I was a Bada Bing dancer for like about 4 seasons, like 2 in the beginning, like 3 years I did, and then the last season I believe I did because I was actually in Memphis wrestling. So, yeah, dancing, can't knock it. I had a great time. With a good DJ, you make lots of money, which we'll get to. So that's pretty much it. I mean, ask great questions, but that's pretty much what I did. I did the go-go dancing circuit.
Did they pay well?
They used to pay well. Now, I think the dancers have to pay to work. But in my time, you were making at least. I started out making like $100 a shift to going down to like $25 a shift, and now I think the dancers have to pay.
All tips, right?
Yeah.
They have to pay. Yep.
Yes, but when you were getting that extra $100 a day, it was awesome.
And it's funny because production-wise, I used to do a lot of production for indie pro wrestling and stuff like that, and that's how I met Cyndi almost 30 years ago.
Yeah, wow.
Right? And
Yay.
hey, we're all guys. And
Cyndi
it was funny.
10?
It was funny because back then, like female wrestlers, obviously they're dressed in wrestling garb and stuff like that.
Right.
You see really pretty girls and stuff like that. And I worked with Cyndi. It was like the entire summer that year because we did like these series of shows in Wildwood, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And the show, and Rob, you'll appreciate this, and some of you other guys might too. The show, The Third Watch. Remember that show?
Yes.
In the first season, I don't remember what episode it might have been. It was like in the first 3 or 5 episodes. The opening scene is that the paramedics go out to a strip joint because some guy had a heart attack at the strip joint.
Yes.
Remember this? Right. So
You got to have heart.
the shot is it's this big fat guy on the ground, right?
Oh, geez.
And these 2 strippers are they're outside, they're obviously cold and they're naked, right? They're in thongs and that's it. So they're holding up like this, but you're seeing the back of them, right? Because you're seeing the back of these 2 girls and this big fat guy on the ground, like dead, right? And I'm watching the show. I'm like, oh, these girls are pretty hot. And I say, well, one looks kind of familiar, right? I'm like looking at her, I'm like looking at her ass. I'm like, she looks familiar. And then they spin the camera around. I'm like, holy shit, it's Cyndi. I know who she is, right? So that was like a big guy. I was like, oh, that's cool. I said, I used to tape her.
Yeah, how did you know it was her?
because I'm looking. I'm the videographer.
Yeah, that was I mean, and that's what I'm saying. I got a lot of work. I did a lot of like Law and Order. I played a biker chick. I mean, I got to do a lot of different stuff, but I always got casted as a stripper, a biker chick, or a prostitute. So, and then all this thing. But hey, if it works, they're paying. It's good.
What do you always say, Cindy? It's a blonde with big boobs.
Right, blonde
It's a blonde with big boobs.
That's it.
But you know,
As long as the check doesn't bounce, it's all good, right?
Exactly.
That's right.
But it was
Now-
great. It was fun.
Now, you getting into the nitty gritty. We were talking about DJs and the relationship with the dancers and stuff like that. Matt has done strip clubs.
Yes,
Rob has done strip clubs. I have not. Knowing
poor man.
You're the only one. What are you doing out here?
You missed out
I
on
know.
a lot.
I know. I
You
know.
just visited a lot, right?
The girls you had,
Yeah.
had,
I was always a patron. I was never,
You
Yeah.
should visit.
I
Dan,
just
the
had to
reason
visit.
why you didn't do one, were you told not to do one and not to come in the front door, or what was the deal here?
No, let me tell you something. My wife said if it's bringing food on the table, you go right ahead and you stay there all night if you have to.
That's right.
It's the truth. Money's money.
Good woman. Good woman.
Yes. So, what the thing is, and going in there and being a DJ, regardless of where I'm at, like I'm at a strip joint, I'm watching these girls dance, whatever, but I'm listening to the DJ. And as a DJ, I'm sitting there saying, what's he doing? Like, what is he thinking? Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? Okay, I get what he did there. And I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, you just don't get it, do you?
No, I didn't get it all. So the thing is, the relationship between a DJ and a dancer, if you could tell us what you had to do. In other words, if you were going to make money,
Well, every
was going
dancer likes different music, so that's the whole ploy.
Yeah.
Your DJ, we tip the DJs. So when it's your time up, you got your 2-3 songs. I personally liked a lot of rock because everyone else was doing dance, and I personally like rock, but I also like dance too. So some DJs refuse to play rock music, which would kind of piss me off. But like one DJ at Lookers, God rest his soul, Dennis, he played one rock song from him. It was called Layla. I mean, what by any means so every time I hear Layla, he never every set it would be Layla. So that was the only rock song like he owned. But historically, but I would make him.
Wow, and that's like the worst song you could possibly dance
Exactly.
to.
Can you imagine being at Lookers? Have any of you ever been to Lookers?
No, I've heard of it, but I've never been there.
Lookers is a predominantly like a dance bar. Everyone listened to dance music. So when I would come up, he would play Layla all the time, and I'd be like, oh, geez.
How horrible.
Yeah.
Dan would be
That's the
Bro.
thing.
First of all, how can a DJ going into a strip joint not have any rock?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
he did
why?
I mean, the rock is something.
Lookers was a very, very dance club. Like it was a lot of Brazilians there. They all listened to dance music, all that.
You know what that? And you know what? You know what that is? I'll tell you. There's two reasons why. One, because it is predominantly a dance club, so they're getting guys that know that thing. But anybody who doesn't have rock music with them, he's not really a DJ.
No.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
not really-
especially if you're doing
in a strip
a strip club, because I mean, there's so much stuff you could do. I mean, again, obviously, I focus mostly on rock in my own personal DJ style, but that was the thing. It gave me so much more room because some of the places I work, as Cyndi would say, a lot of times the dancers would come up and let me know, well, hey, this is what I want to dance to when I'm up on stage this time.
Right.
And eventually you got to know them. So if they were back in the couch room and they were on stage and they're going to be coming pretty much right out of the couch room and going up on stage, you've got something lined up. You know, at least I can play this and they're going to enjoy it, whatever. But I mean, there were nights where I'd have a dancer come up to me and say, I'm not really, don't know what I'm feeling like, but I knew they were, they like dance and rock. And I said, go like, well, how about this? And obviously your better dancers will say, I don't know the song, but go ahead. If you think it'll work, play it. And by the time I get to stage, I'll have heard enough of the song that I know how I'm going to work this song.
Right.
But I mean, and it gives you so much room. I mean, obviously AC/DC. I mean, you're obviously Motley Crue, girls, but you're AC/DC. Pretty much any.
I mean, you also have.
rock or hard rock
I like
band.
80s metal. That was
I mean,
my
God.
I mean, I would also think Marilyn Manson and stuff like that would be really good.
Prodigy. I like
I mean,
Prodigy.
the best.
9 Inch Nails. I mean, yeah,
Nine Inch
sure.
Nails. Yeah, I mean those kind of right.
the vinyls.
Yeah.
But I was thinking they were playing a lot of which is like, ugh.
I touch. Never mind. I'm not going there. But go ahead.
The vinyls. Oh my
I
god.
mean, the best money making night I ever made was actually on a slow night. I had one dancer was wanting to know, like, give me something, and we were trying to kind of stretch because one of the girls had called out sick or whatever, and I was like, I'll play you a little bit longer one. I ended up playing Great White, House of Broken Love, which if you guys have ever heard it, it's got that slow kind of blues groove to it.
Bluesies.
Yeah.
Oh man, she did the true definition of a strip tease. Her top did not come off that entire song. It was like she was going to, and then stopped. And then after I played AC/DC, Cover You in Oil. And I mean, there were guys waiting for her to come back out of the couch room.
So let me ask you, this is like, all right, so what clubs do you work at, if you don't let me ask? Do you work at, like, are they nude clubs or bikini clubs? What are they? Or topless?
No, I mean, this was, obviously many years ago, probably about 15 years ago.
Where
but I primarily worked Dangerous Curves. Dangerous Curves up there in Northeast Philly. And then there was a place called Smiley's there in Ridley.
I know. See, you guys, so that Dangerous Curves, they were topless there. See, I was in New Jersey, and New Jersey was all bikini, and we didn't have lap dances or any of that there.
Oh, really?
So basically, we just got up there and we actually just danced in bikinis, went around and collected money. So that's what I'm saying. It was great. It was new. That's why when we did the Sopranos, we were actually topless because the Soprano club, Bada Bing was topless. But even though it was the same club, we didn't dance topless. So after, in between each, like when they were shooting the scenes, they were giving us robes to put on, and the actors are like, aren't these girls topless, all the time? And then somebody explained to them that we were just a bikini bar, and they all cracked up laughing. Because none of us got to, because they're like, they couldn't understand why we were like covering up, like we were just hanging out with our jubblies. But it's like, yeah, no, we normally don't do that.
Dan used to have his own club in his kitchen, but he'll tell us about that later. But go ahead.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But there's a lot, like, I bartended in was it Flash Dancers as well, and what was it, Stringfellows? I bartended. Yeah, but those were like those were the topless bars. But then when I actually started dancing, I danced in Jersey, and it was just bikini.
That's crazy. Now, with that too, I mean, granted, I'm
but
playing.
It's the same situation. I mean, now that same club I worked at, I believe they have table dances now. But you're still not taking your clothes off, but you have table dances.
Table dance and stuff like that. Now, do you have to like disconnect yourself when you're doing shit like that?
Oh, hell no. I was having a blast. I was having fun. You hang out, you get to drink, you get to hang out, make money, go home. It's like, go to the gym, get up, go. I mean, it was great. All I had to do was dress up, look pretty, and dance around. So it was an exercise. It was great.
Yeah, I can imagine too. It'll keep you in shape and stuff like that. And if you see pictures that I put up of Cyndi, on Facebook and stuff like that, I mean, the girl's built like a brick shit house. So I mean, like, and that was a mandatory thing, honestly, for wrestling. Yeah, it really was.
Mm-hmm. And also, if you want to work, even in dancing, if you want to work in the better clubs, if your body wasn't good, you weren't working. Which, when I was dancing, I had a very jealous boyfriend at the time, and he didn't want me dancing at all. But most guys never want their girlfriends to dance.
Right.
And I was dancing at night, but he was just like, his friends would come in, so he didn't like that.
Oh.
So okay, so I'll work during the day. So I switched to the day shift and made more money during the day, but I didn't let him know that. And it was like easier. And then I had my nights free. So it wound up working out to my advantage. But little did he know his friends were coming in anyway at lunch hour because they were just. I'm like, don't tell Bob you saw me. They're like, don't tell Bob we were here. That's pretty.
That's funny. So funny. It's my
I won't tell if you won't.
Right.
My brother used to frequent the places a lot, like Lou Turk's, and he used to go to other places and other shots that I've even gone to. And he met his like longtime girlfriend there. Like he met her there. Yeah, she was a dancer. And you know how like dancers generally, as kind of like a rule of thumb, they won't really fraternize with people. They won't. Yeah. He was kind of a very persistent guy. My brother's a mechanic. So he would wait, like during the winter time, he would wait for her to get out and he would run her car for her, make sure it was good enough.
So he wooed her over.
Oh, yeah. By being a mechanic, she was like, oh, I got this guy starting my car. It's good. And my brother, you know how there are regulars that are in there and there are guys there are guys that are there because they're drinking. Yeah. And they're kind of like the go-to, like we'll talk with these guys and hang out. We don't have to worry about putting the stick on. But I have to put the stick on for that guy because he's center stage and he wants to see girls, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, it was like that. And she kind of realized that and she started dating him. And she said, at one point she said, she goes, your brother is like just about a year and a half younger than me. You know what I mean? And she's like, talking about me, and she said, what if he comes in and sees me? It's like
Funny. Oh,
know.
yeah. Awkward.
Yeah, he's like, he goes, I don't know.
I had a friend of mine.
He says, I don't think he goes out that often.
Yeah, I don't think I've never ever dated anyone. I danced for years. I never dated anyone in the dance that I've met in the dance place.
Right.
That was stupid.
I
Well,
have a
I'm
buddy
down to that anyway.
that knew all the girls and dated a couple of the girls, and he was also a porn actor over in California about 10 years ago, so they knew him.
Oh,
And
really?
it was really, I won't mention any names or anything, but they called him Stunt. Never mind. But he was really cool, and we would actually go into it would be one of the clubs, and I can't think of the ones we would always go to. I think it was Pennsport or something like that, and they always knew him, and they always hung out with him. He dated 2 of them, so yeah, we were talking about that a little bit earlier. It was a little strange, but he knew a lot of them because they knew his career from about 10 years ago in California.
Now,
Dr. Rock, right? You're talking
for a while, one of my friends, he worked as a tow truck driver at night, and his nights off were Sunday and Monday. So the only time we really get to hang out was like basically Monday night, because Sunday you can't do nothing. So we would a lot of times go out to the clubs on Monday night, and we ended up started going to Show and Tell Bar, which as
Where's
these
that
guys
part of that? Where's that at?
Delaware
it's
Avenue?
down on Delaware Ave, and it is an all nude
It's in Philly, right?
BYOB. Yeah, in Philly, yeah.
The reason I'm asking is we did women's extreme wrestling, so we used to do a lot of our promotions in those bars. That's
Yeah. So you wouldn't be surprised if you were in there, but yeah, it was an all nude, bring your own beer.
Yeah.
So like
I was
there were
there.
like 3 of us. We grab a 30-pack, go down there, and it wasn't very crowded because it's a Monday night. So we were going there almost every week. So eventually, we started getting to know some of the dancers, and eventually, they'd work the room, they'd come back, they'd hang out. Next, we've had them bring us food one night. One of the conversations with one of the dancers was like what she made for dinner that night for her and her boyfriend. We're like, that sounds really good. Excuse me. And eventually, a couple weeks later, she's like, hey, you guys going to be here next week? We're like, yeah. We show up. She's got a plate of it for all 3 of us.
That's nice. Dancers are nice people too.
Yeah, that was the kind of thing. So, obviously between, with working places, it was like one of those things. We're there to hang out, and it's one of those things. It's like, for my advice to any guy going in there, it's like, yeah, you're there to have a good time.
Yeah,
but don't be a scumbag. You can be a gentleman.
Have a little bit of class.
You know what though?
There were certain times where it's like we're not even like they're like, oh yeah, put it in my bikini bottom or whatever, and we're just like, no need for that, and you're putting it in their hand, going like, you're gorgeous, you're a great dancer, And there are other places. I'll tell you, just as a patron, because the dancer wasn't very good, she comes around, starts like start flashing the goodies, expecting a tip, and it's like, you were up on stage, and I don't know what your deal is with the DJ, but it's like he switched to like 80s. Pop music, and you were still you're still moving like it's a bump and grind, and I'm like, you're not doing nothing for me.
You guys are the DJ. If you don't like the dancer, you're not playing good music for her either. True.
Yeah, that's true.
The thing. That's the thing. Yeah,
that's true. Now
that's going to affect their tips.
Here's the problem I used to have with it, and Cyndi knows me for, like I said, forever, and I'm a nice guy. I'm generally just a nice guy. And
yes,
I am. And going to those places, like especially the place that Show and Tell, you're talking about your stage is probably about, what would you say, about 12 feet away from where you're sitting?
No, I wouldn't say 12.
It's a big gap in there.
Yeah, maybe because it's literally the bar and then the space behind the bar and then the stage. Yeah, so it's probably getting close to that.
Yeah, about 10, 12 feet.
Yeah.
And what they would do is they would like roll their dollars up and throw them, right? And I'm like, I feel like I'm throwing peanuts at an ape. You know what I mean? Like I said, I feel like really, really bad, like doing that. I realized that girl wants the money, and she just like, give me the money.
And then go up on stage and take 3 back, because it's never going to happen.
So like, but the thing is, it's like you go there, and I'm like, I don't like that. I'm like, it's like I'm feeling really bad, and then we were at. For Matt's bachelor party, actually, we went to Risque. Well, no, we went to Risque.
Cheerleaders.
No, we talked about this before.
Cheerleaders. We used to get a lot of our dancers.
No, okay.
We went down
Dan keeps getting this screwed up. I do not know why. We were at Lou Turk's, and I know we were at Lou Turk's because ultimately, again, no, we were at Lou Turk's.
That was mine.
No, it was for mine too. We were talking when you keep talking about we were at Risque. We were at Risque. It
For
was.
what?
I think it was for.
We went to
your
South
birthday
Street.
or my birthday.
We went to Fat Tuesdays afterwards.
Cherry bombs.
Remember?
No, we did not. Not for my bachelor party. I was drunk, but I was not that drunk. We did not.
We went to, all right, so here's
We
the
closed
story.
it down because my cousin and one of the other long-time
Here's the story. Here's the story.
friends showed up. But either way,
Here's the story.
I don't think the location really
We
matters.
go to Risque because we went to Risque, right? And we did. And we were there because we got the Fat Tuesdays afterwards. What was that band we saw at Fat Tuesdays? That became
I'm telling you, it was not my bachelor party. It was
Whatever
you,
it was.
me, and Tommy. It was from like one of our birthdays, I think.
It was
whatever it was.
Round one.
party.
I think you both were
Not
drunk
the
and
bachelor
jumping over a
party.
goddamn thing to heaven.
It was for Rob's coming out party. So anyway, we go to
There you go.
we go to Risque. We go to Risque, right? And the girls there, and it was like a Hawaiian theme. Remember that? There was like a Hawaiian theme, and the girls were wearing grass skirts. And there was a bachelor party there, right?
It was, but yeah, it was. There was a bachelor party there, but it was not my bachelor party.
Whatever it was.
Somebody.
The fuck up, whatever.
Damn drunk.
So we go there, and we're next to the stage. In Risque, they have multiple satellite stages, which are like one-off little things, right? And we're like standing right next to one stage, not for any particular reason, just because it was a place to stand. And the girl comes up there, and she's in a Hawaiian, like a hula skirt, and because it was some kind of Hawaiian theme going on, blah blah blah. And
Party.
it was, it was like a tiki party type of thing, right? And there was some kind of like there was some kind of young bachelor party there. Now, not that me and Matt were old, but we were like in our mid 20s, and these guys were easily like 21. You know, I mean, they were barely kids. You know, and
popping their cherry, basically.
Yeah. And the girl's there, and she's like on her side, and she's kind of moving her leg up, and she's got the grass skirt on. The guy's like, "Oh, you need to shave," and he's saying all kind of like rude shit to the girl.
Stuff. Yeah,
right?
there's those.
You know. And I'm looking at the guy. I'm like, I'm literally standing next to him. I'm like, "What the fuck, dude?" Like I think like the poor girls, and the girl's so like distant. Remember, I asked you before, like if you just detach yourself. This girl was so detached, it was not even funny. You know,
people like that do that. I just curse them out. What are they gonna do? Get me fired? Tell them to go fuck themselves.
Right. I know.
Now, see, the thing, the reason. Now, Dan, the reason.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, if you're gonna be that rude, expect it back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're going to get what you give.
Now, see, the thing is, too, Dan, I'll tell you the reason why I remember this night is because it was you, me, Tommy was there. I'm not going to say last names, but you were wearing your Spider-Man, your like Spider-Man like club shirt. It was that Spider-Man print shirt. Ironically enough, when I showed up to pick up Dan, I had this shirt. It was this long black sleeve, kind of more like a dress shirt with this red print down the front, but then it had this black mesh over top of it that was all like spiders and spider webs.
Yeah.
Now, while we're there, we're getting ready to leave, and I recognize one of the girls.
So point blank, we looked really, really gay. Is what happened.
Yeah, essentially.
You're looking very.
We were together.
I'm like, dude, I was like, maybe you need to go inside and change. He's like, we're running late. I'm not changing nothing. But we go. It was right before we left. I see this one dancer, and I kept seeing her from across the room all night long. I'm like, I think I recognize her. I think she used to dance at Show and Tell. So before we go, I'm like, Dan, I'm just going to go over there. I'm going to say hi, see if it's her. And sure enough, it was. So Dan and I walk up there, and she's hanging with these guys. These guys are trying to work her big time. She's working them hardcore. And she sees me. She's like, oh, my God, gives me a big old hug. And I was like, look, I saw it was you. I wanted to come say hi. We're actually getting ready to leave. And she says, well, come on. Couch dance real quick for old time's sake. I'm like, okay.
I'll pay you.
I was never that nice to my DJs.
And I was like, okay. So we go walking away, and this one dude says, "Really? You're gonna walk away with Spider-Man?" And I still remember looking back over my shoulder, and it's like, yeah, guys, the operative word here is man, boys.
Exactly.
And it's just like, yeah, you don't know that I know her and worked with her and everything else, but it was hysterical.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Those are those guys that are hanging out, talking to the dancer, thinking they're going to get laid.
So Cyndi, now tell us about the girls you had to work with. Was it a lot of like everybody was like really cool, or was like, oh my god, I got to work with this bitch, blah blah blah. Like, what
Actually,
was
most of the girls, I'm still friends with a lot of them on Facebook. I mean, we always, I'm pretty blatant about it, but a lot of them are married with kids, and it's kind of like their past. But
Right.
you know, I mean, they were great. I met some of like my best friends, and it's great.
Mhm.
Like one of my best friends and we danced everywhere together. We had a
Right.
blast. We were like the dynamic duo. It was fun. I was very lucky. I'm sorry, it's my phone.
It's like
We were.
No, but there were some girls. There were some girls that I wasn't very money hungry. Like I just went with the flow. Like there's some of these girls that like they have their customers. You go near them. I mean, I'm sure they went
Oh.
out with them afterwards.
They were real
I couldn't be
chatty.
bothered with that. Like I
Yeah.
didn't have customers. Like people would come in and give me money, but like I didn't make it an effort to go hang out with them after work or anything like that because I really didn't care.
Right. Right.
So, but you would see conflict with other dancers if they were trying to step on each other's toes, which I used to find hilarious. So,
Right. Right.
because that didn't rule my world. I was too busy doing other stuff.
Just stand back and look at it and just laugh when watching.
Yeah.
these
Oh
girls.
God, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some funny stuff there though. Definitely.
Now, one guy that used to DJ with us, one of our DJs at Canon Entertainment, he was working at a strip club, and he said, a lot of times like the girls will flirt with the DJ to kind of get them, get them obviously on their side, and
Right.
if I flirt with him, he's going to hook me up, blah blah blah, that type of thing. And he said she came up and she kind of like half-ass lap danced him while he was
Oh,
in the DJ booth.
funny.
He said, but when she left, he looked down and she had left what he referred to as a snail trail right on his leg.
Yeah. Yeah, gross. No, best I ever did was bring my DJs a beer. That was it.
Yeah, most people.
I'm really good friends with one of the DJs still to this day.
Right. Right.
My friend Kelly, he was in a band called Phantasm. So
Mhm.
he was a DJ at Satin Dolls, and he was great, But he and I had the same taste in music, so it was a lot easier.
Right.
So kind of when I went on, he played whatever he wanted because he knew I liked it anyway. Because we liked the same type of music.
Right. And I guess if like say the girl in front of you is rap and hip hop and you're rock,
Right.
there's obviously multiple stages, so she might not be on the main stage after her.
No.
So she's got to deal with you, or well, you're saying
Yeah.
one stage.
So in other words,
Yeah.
there's only one stage there. So when you have to stay on the stage like for like 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off.
Okay.
So you stayed on stage for 20 minutes. For 20 minutes was my music. And then if there's two of us on, if she liked dance, it'd be my song, 2 songs rock, her songs would be 2 songs dance, and then,
Right.
then you go around and listen to whoever else was up there. But that's pretty much how it went.
Because I always wonder, because like we go to Lou Turk's a lot, and with Lou Turk's you have like a main
I've never
stage,
been
and there's like 3 or 4 other stages, like little satellite stages. It's not a real big place.
right.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, this song was for this girl, but now she's moving to stage number 2. So another girl's coming up on the main stage. Now she's got to dance to her music.
Right.
And
So
it's
everybody else, you dance, right? You just dance
Yeah.
to whatever.
So you gotta
that's-
kind of be able to shift, in other words, in mainstream, whatever.
Well,
Now,
yeah,
the
I
way-
mean, this is a cycle. That's how it all goes. Everybody gets to hear their 1 or 2 songs, and then boom.
Yeah, and then just go
Now,
through.
the way we did it at Smiley's, there was the main stage, and then there was basically the on deck stage.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
the next girl up is working the second stage. So yeah, she's got to dance to whatever that girl on the main stage is dancing to.
Yeah.
And then when she would rotate through, that's when you're playing her stuff that she's been asking for.
Right.
So I mean, that's how we did it there. Now
I've only
again,
worked
too, now
on-
that was. Go ahead,
I've only
Cyndi.
worked on one stage, so I don't know how those other. I've been to places that had them, but I've only worked on the one stage.
Right.
Now, that was one of the things, though, too, that I really liked about working at Smiley's, and a lot of the dancers liked working with me because I used to keep a list. Because at Smiley's, we were also, as a DJ, in control of the lighting. They had a pre-programmed lighting system, and there were certain girls that were like, "I don't like this particular sequence or that sequence because it showed either real or perceived flaws in their own body."
Right.
And I would keep a list. So, like you, like when I was scheduling scheduling them. So as far as when they're going up on stage and whatnot, I would always try and keep, if this girl didn't like sequence number 2, I'm not putting the girl that doesn't like that sequence on the side stage. So, I mean, I had lists. I mean, at one point, I was in there picking up my check one night, and one of the girls invites me to come back have a lap dance. And I was like,
dancers there. Good.
yeah,
Mr.
exactly. Well, she invites me back, and I'm like, well, hey, as long as I got my check, because I was supposed to have it last week, as long as I got my check, I got money, I'll go back. And I got paid, so I was like, yeah, let's go back.
Wait a minute, you paid her for that? Was it a freebie?
No, it was not a freebie. It was literally. I was not getting freebie.
We used to get. I did surveillance there. We used to get half off on food, and then you had to take care of the girls. Basically, is what it was. Yeah.
Well, at least let me say, at least in this case, at first it wasn't a freebie. I go back, I pay for it because you got to pay the guy at the door going back to the couch room. You pay him, and then they keep track of how many times the girls came back, and at the end, they get half of that couch dance money at the end of the night for how many times they went back in there. So we go back there. She does her dance. As we're walking out, before we get past the guy at the door, she slips me a 10. And I'm like, what's this for? And she says, well, apparently the girls all had a bet going on. They thought I was gay because they were so used to all the other DJs hitting on the girls, always trying to get into their pants figuring, well, because I'm the DJ. You know, they want me, they're trying to be nice to me. They want me to play their stuff, whatever. They were used to these guys coming in there and just being, that's actually how I got the gig. They had guys that wouldn't show up for shifts and stuff.
Yeah.
And Dan got me there like, they were like, you have trouble getting your DJs in here. We know a guy. And it was literally a thing they had to bet because I walked in there. It's like, I'm here to do a job. I'm here to play music for them so they make money. The more money they make, the better they tip me. Yeah. And that's what I'm here to do.
Right.
And they figure like the guy's got to be gay. The guy's got to be gay.
Every good DJ,
like, no way. He's not gay.
Every good DJ will be perceived as gay. How about it, Rob? How many times has someone said, "Hey, is your DJ Dan gay?" Blah blah blah. Because I'm not like responding to like muffin top girls who are wearing size 3 when they're like a size 16 and shit like that. God forbid, that's not my type. And I had a girl. She looked at me. She said, and I'm talking to her. And she goes, and I said, and I think she saw my wedding ring, right? And she goes, "Oh, you're married?" And I said, "Yeah." And I'm thinking she was getting ready to ask me out, and then she saw the ring or something like that, right?
Danny's the only one that wedding ring.
She goes, "No, I could have swore you were gay." I said, "Why the fuck would you think I was gay?" Right? And she goes,
"First of all, if you were gay, why would you be there? I would be in a place where there's dudes."
And she's like, "Because you're so nice," and that's the truth. If you're a nice guy, you got to be gay. Unfortunately, that's apparently the perception.
Yeah, that's just crazy. That's crazy.
Usually, guys that are pretty boys are blamed for being gay.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
Rob.
Fix their hair up.
Rob Cannon's on the show today. That's great. Yeah.
Rob, you're trying to get a word in, but you and Matt have taken over.
Rob, go ahead. Rob, you worked in the clubs. Go ahead.
Write a book called Casting Couch.
Yeah.
Ed knows about casting couches.
No, stop.
Yeah, Matt. Write a book called Casting Couch.
Stop. There you go. You always got to, every show, you got to throw that in there. Some way, somehow, you always work it in.
Eddie C. Casting couch. So Rob, tell us about your time down in the strip club.
Well, with Dangerous Curves, each girl we let them pick their own music, and some girls wanted all strobe, like we were talking about lights, Matt.
Yeah.
Some girls just like, leave the strobe on. Like, okay, whatever you want, but that was freaking annoying. As far as
I remember the one girl with bubbles everywhere. Oh my God.
Bubbles.
The bubble machine, yay.
At Smiley's, there's a girl that used to shoot ping pong balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan. Okay, Dan, see if you remember this one.
Always in the strike zone. Fascinating.
What's that, Rob?
Dan, the one that would do the backflip from the top of the pole.
Yeah.
Do you remember her? There was one with me. She was built so athletically. I remember I had her on stage. It was probably the first night I worked with her. I see her. She's going up the pole. I look down for something to get some music ready for the next thing. And all of a sudden, I just hear this bam. I look up because I figure she fell off the pole. And she's standing there, all good. And every guy in the place is just like their jaws are on the floor. And I'm just like, what the heck happened? And
Pole
so I
position.
paid more attention. She would climb to the top of the pole, hang upside down off the top of the pole, and then do a backflip off the pole and stick the landing in these 6-inch stiletto heels.
Oh,
And it was just like,
Always that one Russian
Oh,
jump.
my God.
Now the funny thing is, Cindy, you talked about switching to the early shift. I took the problem I always have with going to the strip joint because of the fact that you do it when you have money. First off,
Yeah,
is
well,
that-
yeah.
right. You know what I mean, so it's not an everyday thing. So you're going there and like, oh, this is a treat, blah blah blah, and like I said, let's go early because I don't want to. You get there and like an hour and a half later you're leaving. It's like what the hell, it's like so
You
quick.
don't get there at 8 a.m. It's pretty
So-
boring.
So we go there early. We go to like I think it was like 8 o'clock, something like that. And it was me and my wife, and it's that change of shift.
Mhm. Yeah, I usually get off at 7 or 8 because I work
Right.
at 8.
Yeah, so it's like around 8:30 was
Yep.
the coming of the guard. type of
Yeah,
thing,
changing other, yeah.
So we're in there and we're watching. We're like, we get there, we sit down, blah blah, blah, and my wife's watching hockey on TV. I'm like, why do we go here? If you're gonna sit there and watch hockey the whole time, that type of thing. And then I'm
It
sitting
was
there,
good.
and like I said, there's a stage here, back here, right? So I'm directly in front, looking at what I'm looking at, right? And she goes to me, she whispers to me, she goes, "All right, I am not giving that $1," is what she says. And
50 cents.
right? And I say, well, what's wrong with her? I said, nice looking girl. She says, no, not her, her. And I look over and it's an older woman, right? Not super older, but an older woman.
Right.
But her augmentation, right, were like square. They weren't round.
Wow.
They're like if you drew a question mark on them and punched them, a flower would come out and give you invincibility for 10 seconds, like in Super Mario Brothers. That's how blocky they were, right?
With the old round, the old square peg kind of a thing. Dan.
So yeah, right. So I said, well, you got to give her $1. She's probably saving up for the little files so she could file the corners down, or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? So the woman comes around and she's obviously like somebody's grandmother. I don't know. What's going on?
Yeah, I've worked with something like that.
And I was like,
What kind of club did
Here
you go
you
to?
go. What? That was Turks. It was the Turks.
Okay.
So
Cindy, did you know Shay from Cheerleaders?
that sounds familiar. Actually.
Yeah, everybody knew Shay. She was so cool. She was at Cheerleaders all the time.
So my experience with cheerleaders, because we did the women's extreme wrestling at in the old ECW arena.
Right.
So we used a lot of the pole dancers and stuff to fill in because there was we had soft porn in between, and we got a lot of the girls from cheerleaders to come in and do pole dancing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Cool.
and we would go there and promote, but that was the only time.
But if they're not trained, were they doing like actual wrestling or no?
Remember I ran when I was in women's extreme wrestling. We had the porn stars from LA come in. Now none of them could wrestle. That's what the PWO.
No, yeah.
None of the other girls would wrestle.
have
Like, I ain't
everything.
wrestling, no. But I'm like, without those girls, we wouldn't have a show. Nobody would watch it. So I volunteered to wrestle with these porn stars. I used to just like toss them around and like just, you know what I mean?
Tough luck.
Right.
Kind of cat fight them. They would just move around, do whatever. But I mean, if it wasn't for them. So my friend is a porn director. I know from New York. So when I was out in LA, the Avion Awards were there.
Yeah.
So I went with him because he was nominated for some porn flick. So as we're going there, we're going down the red carpet, and there's some wrestling photographers, and they're like, "Hey, Bobcat, are you going to be doing films?" I'm like, "No." And then we go inside, and there's a lot of these porn stars that were in women's extreme wrestling. They're like, "Hey, Bobcat, how are you?" Blah blah. My friend's like, "How the fuck do you know these people?"
Right.
Like, are you doing something I don't know? I'm like, and I had to explain to him about the women's extreme wrestling. When I say that, I never get into that part of it. That there was actually soft porn on there.
Yeah.
They never did it when in the arena, like they did the wrestling stuff, but they did all that stuff in the hotels and the limos and stuff like that. So we never actually saw it. It was just put in with the.
Oh, they taped it and then edited it in.
I edited it into that,
Right,
and a lot of times
right.
because they flew them in from California and stuff. A lot of these girls.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I think I'm going to give this show to my friends for Christmas as a gift. It's awesome.
But
Oh
But
my
now,
God.
Rob, what was some of the problems that you? Because I know it's one of those things where DJs, it's like, oh yeah, you think it's this fabulous job to work at a strip joint and stuff like that. But I've heard so many horror stories
I
from
had,
DJs.
I, we had, I did the early shift, the morning,
Yeah.
Like me.
into the afternoon. So a lot of the women that did that shift were kind of overweight or not
Mhm.
Yep.
active. And they all used to come up to me and say, how do I look? Of course, I'm not going to say, oh, you look fat in that, or you look like shit. I was always like, oh, you look great. Oh my God, you're going to make a lot of money. I would always make them feel good. I would never be rude like that because
Rob used to go there with his pants down.
they,
Right. Then he'd have to write him a check.
you know.
So
So here's the story you all like. So I think I might have told you this a long time ago, Dan. Anyway, there's a dancer up on the stage. A couple girls are walking around doing their thing, collecting their money, doing the the boob thing. So anyway,
Boob thing.
one girl is rubbing
could you
up.
show us again, Rob?
She's like rubbing up against this crotch, right? While she's doing that, she's going like this. She's counting her money.
Oh God, really?
Really?
Wow.
Well, like she's
So,
moving her ass
so unprofessional.
and she's counting her money. I'm like,
Ray's like, oh.
That's crazy.
my
Way to
God.
make more money.
Right.
We one time, me and Matt used to work for Circuit City years ago. And
Great story.
it
Are they
was,
still around? They're not.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
That's where we
they
were
might
back.
be online. I think they're online.
I
but
think
they're not-
so. I
yeah.
think so. It's like they still have like
Yeah,
a warehouse.
there's no more stores, I don't think, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
there's no brick
That
and
used to
mortar.
be the place.
It was Circuit, and me and Matt worked there for years, and we all, as a group, because Circuit City, how bad it, Matt? It actually literally was one of the few places I worked at where everybody was friends with everybody from
That's good.
working there, and it was like a family. It really was like a family type of
It
thing.
was.
I never really got that in other jobs.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but at Circuit City, we all were happy to go out and drink and together and stuff like that. It was really nice. So one night we said we're going to go to a strip joint. And we go to this place which is not there anymore. It was down in South Philly, and all of us go. And one of our friends, he's no longer with us, unfortunately, but Armando, who's this older Latino man, right? Very well educated, very nice, very proper, very clean. He's never been to a strip joint. So I said, well, come with us and we'll give you the ins and outs and we'll tell you what to do and blah, 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 right? So we're in there and we're like, so what you do is obviously you're going to watch the girls. And I said, if you make eye contact with a girl and you like her, give her a smile and she'll smile back at you. I said, but understand when you do that, she's probably going to come over. You're going to have to tip her and blah, blah, blah. And I said, and when she comes over to tip you, for you to tip her, she's going to probably rub her boobs in your face first, and then she's going to turn around and rub her ass on your leg. And I said, you're going to tip her twice, basically, blah, blah, blah. And then if you really like the girl,
Educating Armando.
It was like reading Rainbow for strippers. It was like crazy, right? So then I'm like, and if you really like her, you could spend $20 and for a private dance for one song, she'll go back and she'll dance real close to you, blah, blah, blah. And like I said, so I'm giving him all this shit, right? So he's facing me, right? There's the stages right here. He's facing me like this, and the girl's coming around. So the girl comes around, she does her thing for the guy next to him. And she goes over her back like this and starts rubbing her ass up on Armando. And I go, Armando, go around. And he comes around and he goes, oh, let me give you a tip. And he pulls out his money like this, right? His money, right? So we start laughing about that. And it was really, really funny. And then this girl goes up on stage, and a real nice looking girl. And she does a complete straddle up the pole. Like it's really, really flexible. Yeah. So my buddy stands up. He says, that ain't nothing. Dan, do your thing, right? So I stand up because I was very flexible. I was in martial arts for many years. I put my foot behind my head and I stand up and I go like this, right? And the whole club starts clapping for me. The girl,
did you have your Spider-Man shirt on? Because that would have been a lot of
the girl goes like this. She reaches in her thong, pulls out $1 and throws me $1, right? So
that's funny.
So of course I
Dan,
spent like $40.
Mr. Calling.
I did. I really did. Of course I spent like
I see
$40
that move was at Woody's.
at Woody's.
Woody's.
Center City.
Last time I see
Yeah.
it, that was Woody's.
No.
Made a lot more money than $1.
Dan,
Nah, that wasn't Woody's for me, pal.
Yes, it was.
Let me tell you something about Woody's, though. And let me tell you something. Woody's, which is a male-dominant place, right?
Woody's is very popular though with women.
Oh, well,
Very
yeah. You know why? Because they're not going to get hit on. Because it's a
Correct.
gas.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the deal. Like, I worked for Singular Wireless back in the day. And
Techie.
yes. I was always techie, yeah. And what happened was there were 3 guys that I worked there that were gay, and they all hung out together and stuff like that. And they all went to Woody's one night with a bunch of the girls that worked with us. Went to Woody's, right? And they were out dancing, whatever. And before you know it, one dude started really, really like crazy, blah, 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 and then he collapsed on the floor.
Oh,
Apparently, they take him. No,
Please don't tell me you use mouth to mouth.
no. So they take him to the ER or whatever in Philly, and he had 8 different drugs in him because somebody spiked his drink.
Oh wow.
That shit does not happen at Lou Turk. Can I tell you?
That happens.
That shit happens at Woody's. Okay.
It happened to my
Happens
wife.
anywhere if you just leave a
Let me
drink.
just tell you, if you would have done that move at Woody's, forget about it.
Oh, I would have been so popular. I would have had DJ.
Oh.
Well, a good friend of ours, Cindy.
Yeah, they would've put
You know, Cindy,
Saturday, bro.
you know Johnny Cashmere, right, Cindy?
Yeah, Johnny Cashmere, yeah, forever.
He DJs at I think he DJs at Woody's. Honestly, I know he DJs at a gay club because he came out years ago.
Yeah, he
Okay.
came out a while ago, yeah.
Yeah, but he DJs at things, and I talked to him because I said a job's a job. I don't fucking give a shit. You know, what I mean,
Yeah, piece of shit.
as long as I can work, you know, I don't give a shit. And he was like,
Your next show going to be at
he
Woody's? Danny?
kind of gave me the thing, like he's like, listen, if you're not gay, you got to be a certain way in here, you know,
Right.
because obviously you can't be someone who's not gay and gets hit on by a guy and get angry about it or something.
Right. Well, yeah, you're in a gay bar. What do you expect?
Well,
You should be. You know, I would be mad if I did get hit on. That means you're not having it.
I know that's common sense, right? That's common sense, and say, well, yeah, if I punch out every guy that comes up for a request, I'm gonna, I'm gonna get.
Well, you know that I work with a lot of gay gay clubs. A lot of my friends are gay and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
who cares? Like,
Who cares? Right, who
I always
cares?
tell my friends like, oh, they're gonna hit on me. I go, hey, they're gay. They have taste. Just because they're gay doesn't mean they don't have taste.
Rob loves those
Because you're a
places.
guy, they're not gonna hit on you. It's like, fuck, please.
Rob loves those places because Rob feels right at home when he goes in those gay clubs. Don't you, Rob?
you know, Dan, there's a saying. A so, expert of who's gay. I'm just guessing here.
I'm just guessing,
So I guess Danny hit on it. UPS.
I'm trying to give Ed a day off.
Get your strip.
But I always mess with Ed, so I'm trying to give Ed a day off.
Nice. I
Hey, Ed
appreciate that.
rocks, man. He's always here. Ed rocks.
Dan,
Yes, that what?
Cindy, about the KP strip thing you did for us.
There you go. You know what? It all ties in, doesn't it?
What?
Get back
in King of Prussia Mall, right? There was. Did you ever go to King of Prussia Mall at all, Cindy?
No.
Back in the
never.
day, back
No.
then there was a club called, what was that? Bebop Cafe was there.
That sounds
And-
might be.
That sounds familiar. Or it was popcorns. Bebop and popcorns were the same place.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And so after a while, it became the KP Corral, which ended up. This was in like the '90s, late '90s, where country music was real huge. So
Can you show us a dance?
what's that?
Can you show us a dance or two?
Rob could. So what
Okay.
happened was in the country line dance, you go there, Matt,
Yeah, country line dance.
and once again, it's a place where if you go long enough, everybody knows everybody.
Right.
Yep.
It's like Cheers. And we had a huge group, and like regulars were regulars. It was almost like watching your favorite TV show,
Mhm.
and you had all the characters there. You know what I mean? Type of thing. So
Yeah.
everybody literally knew everybody. And
There are boots and a set of chaps.
right. And so what Rob goes to me, he says, listen, this girl Betsy, who's like, I don't know, she was like 50 or something like that. And I was like barely 24, if I was anything. And he goes,
14.
listen,
Oh, geez, you're probably younger than that, dude.
Might have been.
14.
I remember this, and like we were like, I think it closed down when we were like 23 or 24. Was when it
Yeah,
closed
you're
down,
right.
I think.
So I might have been around 21, 20, something like that. And Rob goes, it's her birthday. Do me a favor. Can you do a striptease for her?
Ah,
Right? So I said, all right, whatever. I don't fucking care. So imagine that in the 90s when all this KP crowd, this country line, everybody had matching outfits. Like I was in water snake boots,
Here we go again.
black jeans, a black shirt with water snake imprint down the front, and a black cowboy hat. So this was like
look out.
it was like
I'm not
straight up-
gay, but I can feel the heat.
and I had my power mullet back in the day, and
Oh yeah, that's it.
the shit was nice. And I said to Rob, I said, all right, Rob, I said, well, I have a wife beater on underneath this shirt.
And a Hanson sport jacket.
And I said, what I'll do is I'll strip. I said, you play like, and being with him, I know him at that point for a good 10 years or something like that, right? So I said, play some song, right? And I said, and when I turn around, I'm gonna unzip my pants in front of her, and then I'm gonna turn around, like I'm gonna start to pull them down, like where my ass is in her face or whatever. I said, when I start to do that,
Give her a magnifying glass?
I'm going to turn around. I'm going to go like this. And I said, you're going to stop the music and say, oh, no, like that. I said, because I'm not stripping all the way, right? So
Why do I think he did?
So they get the girl and they sit her right in the middle of the dance floor. So it's a huge dance floor, right? Mm-hmm. And all these people are gathered around like they're watching a play or something like that. So like you got like about 100 people.
Like unbelievable.
Right? So he said, we got you something, and he hits the music. Right? And it's country line dance. So you're sliding across the dance floor, wearing cowboy boots, blah, blah, blah. So I go sliding out on the dance floor and I start dancing. Everybody starts hooting it up, blah, 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 this, that, the other thing. So I get on top and I'm going like this and I start like taking my shirt off, right? And she starts like rubbing my chest, blah, blah, blah. And she's like getting into it, right?
My wife is making faces.
I still remember that.
Yeah. So, right. So then I take I drop the shirt off like this, right? I got the wife beater on. I flip my buckle like this, right? Because we all wore cowboy buckles, right? Flip the buckle. I take the pants and I unzip like this, right? Or I had button flies on, something like that, where I was like this, right? And everybody starts hooting up like real loud, blah, blah, blah. And I turn around and I go like this and I start like kind of gyrating. And I look at Rob and I'm like, now.
Do you need a moment?
And Rob's like, right? And I gyrate a little bit more and I'm like, now, right? And he's like this. And I said, Rob, now, like this. He goes, oh.
Show us those moves now. Could you?
I think Rob was just excited to see you in your undies.
He was. And Rob wanted to see more than she did.
Turn on him.
And then that girl went around for the next year. Oh my!
On him.
That girl, whenever I would go into that club, that girl, oh, my stripper.
That's great.
That was a crazy story. I love that. That was a fun time.
Yeah, did you say you brought your wife to the strip club? Did you guys ever bring your wife to the strip club?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I brought Joanne one night.
I go to strip clubs. I just went recently with a bunch of friends about four weeks ago before this happened. Yeah. We went down to one of the strip clubs in Louisville.
Okay. Yeah,
I always tipped them. I have a great time.
Nowadays, I'll tell you though, when I take my wife though, we definitely get more attention.
Well, yeah.
The girl, because the Flyers were winning. Now what happened was the girls feel obviously a lot more safe with a girl.
Sure they do.
With a guy. So I mean that's a given.
Here's from my experience. We all know that when a girl comes in with the guy, she's the one who's going to be giving the tips. So if she likes you, you're making a lot of money. That's just the bottom line. Yeah.
It's the truth. And
I've worked in business long enough to see that.
We went one night where it was, I guess, kind of slow, right? It wasn't a lot of people in there as far as the patrons. And so the girls these two girls said, why don't we, I mean, I don't notice, but this is what happened, but I'm saying they say to each other, why don't we double up? And that way we'll kind of guarantee we'll get couch dances. We'll do 2 for 1 or whatever. It's like, he'll pay me 20, he'll pay you 20. We can probably
just bring Matt along. He'll get a couch dance.
So they see me and the wife in there.
Yeah.
and they say, hey, they come over together like arm in arm, like they're best friends, and like, oh, and they start talking to us and like, come back for a lap dance, come back. So we go back for a lap dance, and like they're like all over my wife. I mean, just like ridiculous. It's like Cinemax and shit. And then they'll come over to me and they'll looking at her. Yeah, they're all looking at her.
They're working the gimmick. Come on, Danny. You know that.
Oh yeah. I mean, coming from the business, I'm like,
that would be the same thing too. Like since because we were go-go dancers, we didn't do the lap dancer thing. We just walk around with two guys, sit there, talk to the guy, they buy you a drink. Next time you go up, you're making money. It's
That's
like
true. That's true. Now, did you have to go in cages too?
What?
Did you have to go in cages too and stuff like that?
No.
You do any of that stuff?
I cage dance in the nightclubs in New York City, but not like that was just like costuming and dancing in the cages.
Yeah.
I did at several clubs, but there's no cages. It was just like a regular strip club, except it was just one big main stage.
Now,
the clubs are big there.
Now,
like I said, Jersey's different from anywhere else. It's like not like New York or Philly.
Jersey's like another country.
Well, Jersey does have nude. They do have nude bars there, but you, like you said, you bring in your own, and you, And I find there was one that they owned right up there was a nude bar like that, but I noticed that we were much more busier, and we were in bikinis, so I guess people just like to look, and
About 2 years ago, we went to when you go to those places where you see like medieval fighting. And you eat.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right, and
medieval times. Medieval times.
Yes, and there's one. There's one. It's right up by. Of course, no. There's one right up by. It's like by Met Stadium.
Yeah, Route 17. I used to go there. There was a country bar underneath it. We used to go there all the time.
So you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
We were at that place, and we were across the street at like a Days Inn or whatever it was, right?
Right. I know exactly.
And so it's all parents. Like we'd left the kids with somebody, and it's like all the couples, right? So we said, we want to go to a strip joint. Let's go to a strip joint. So we find a place that was like 20 minutes away or something like that.
Which one?
I have no idea. And that's
was it not $10 is up that way too, up on 17.
This was when you went inside this place, right?
Yeah.
I think you spent like $5 to get in. And then it wasn't a bar there. So I guess it was kind of like a BYOB, but there was a guy there selling booze.
Oh, I don't know. Where the hell is that?
Right, I'm saying, right?
I'm in Jersey. I've not,
I guess that would be Jersey. I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's all New Jersey right there.
And so we go in there, and it's like we're not a bar. We don't sell alcohol, but you can buy alcohol from this guy. Right?
Wow, that's funny. Yeah,
very weird, right? So we buy like, I don't know, like a couple of the buckets with like 6 beers each or whatever, spending an enormous amount of money. And they have this stage, which is only about maybe 20 inches high off the ground. And it's like a runway stage.
Yeah.
So you've got poles.
Yeah, that's dark.
The thing, right? And
that sounds like a sport.
And the girls are getting changed in the bathroom.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Right. So we're right behind the bathroom. Right, the girls are getting changed.
Yeah, I'm just
and we have to use the same bathroom.
What? Oh my God, what the hell are you at?
Right. So
you gotta remember the name of that place.
Hand sanitizer.
So let me tell you something. It wouldn't even work in this place. And so this one girl comes over, and she's like this Russian girl. And she comes over, they come over, and she goes, "How you doing? You like this? You come with me now. Come." And we're like, "No, I don't want to come with you." Like, don't be a bully. Stop
Every
it.
part of our body looks like an armpit.
My one friend was like, I need an adult.
I was going to tell you, so when I worked at Titillations in Bloomfield, you know where that is? That's a go-go bar.
I've heard of that, yeah.
Okay, so, but, if Russians were starting to really come in. So a lot of people would think I'm Russian because, I looked Russian compared to the other girls. So sometimes I would just go up to and tell the people, I don't speak English. You give me dollar, and I would pretend like I was Russian, and they would. And then one time I was doing that to the people going around because I didn't feel like talking to anybody. And my friends come in and they're like, "Hey," and I was like, "Hey, what's up? You coming over here?" And one guy got really pissed off at me. He's like, "I thought you were Russian. You could speak English. That's fucked up."
Well, you do
accents. The Russians have taken over the dance world now. So
you do accents about as well as Rob does, because Rob doesn't really do accents that well either. Every time Rob does a different accent, it sounds like the same Latino guy.
What are you talking about?
You just gotta go give me money. I know speak English.
I know speak English.
I need money. I give me money. I know speak English. That's all. Those Russians, all they ever do, because none of them can speak English.
What are you from?
Dan tries that
Are you from
every
the-
day. Yes, I need money. I don't speak
I
English.
need money. I don't speak English. I'm
You
from
must be from
Russia.
the, you must be from the Ecuador area of Russia.
Hey, listen, I sounded just like them. They didn't know the difference. Music loud.
What part of Russia are you from? Havertown, Russia.
It says,
But yeah, no, if you go to any bar now in New Jersey, I don't know about how it is in Philly or whatever, but most of the girls are Russian.
Yeah,
Most of
like
them.
at Pennsport and all, they are. They're all Russian girls.
Yeah, they import them in
yeah.
from Brooklyn. That's where there's a big Russian community there, and they have drivers. So from what I understand, a lot of these girls got to give them all their money that they make.
wow.
Because they bought them here. Yeah,
Danny brings them in from UPS.
they
Yes,
have
I'm-
drivers that take all their money. So I don't know. They owe them money for coming to America. Some kind of crazy shit. I don't know.
It almost sounds like when you go to a Chinese buffet and they got the waitresses the same way.
Yeah,
It's the truth.
I don't know. Who knows, right? It's crazy
That's
world.
crazy. That is crazy. So
Yeah,
now,
it's kind of
look,
sad. I feel bad for them. They're here and they're like, they got to give all their money, and it's just crazy.
so now you do burlesque now.
Yes.
And burlesque is a much more, I don't want to say legitimate. I want to say
No, it's just a
more
show. The difference is you're not tipping. It's a show.
Show, yeah.
Coming out in elaborate costumes, taking your clothes off slowly, but you still have to wear like a underbra and a pasty, and you have to wear a full back, bottom. But a lot of them were just wearing corsets. Very,
Yeah.
kind of
It's
more.
for
Like,
a more
I want to say a
like
little
the
more artsy dancing, but at the end of the day, it's still stripping, but it's a nicer way.
But
it's a show.
it's definitely more of a show,
right?
Yeah.
You have live
versus
bands.
like, hey, we're just here to get you all excited and take your money.
Exactly. It's more.
It's more of a performance, a true performance.
It's more titillation. I couldn't wait to use that word today.
Titillation. You could have used it when I said I worked there.
Yeah, see, right? You missed your shot.
Yeah, you get a lot of
Great
compliments
timing's
about
all
that.
off today.
Now with that though, doing a burlesque show, I mean, with the granted, obviously because it's completely different, it's choreographed, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
but it's a different mentality.
Yeah.
Doing that, I would assume, because you're not really dealing with a DJ relationship there.
No.
No, because you're
Everything's
doing a
on
show.
CD, and there's when we have CDs and stuff, we give it to the sound guy. Everything's on a list, and they just play it.
Right.
So,
But I mean, it's based on your show. Now, is there any go-to person you say I have to be good, like almost like what you had to do with a DJ? Is there anybody in burlesque that you have to do that with?
what do you mean? Like
Like you had to like really make good with the DJ in order for you to get good music. And blah, blah.
no.
There's
It's just
no
pretty much,
favoritism?
you tight with your troupe and stuff. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
You didn't have to do you didn't have to do like Danny sleep with everybody to advance his career.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I know. I
Like
mean,
the
Danny
one
slept his
sweet
way to the
person-
top. I get
If I knew then what I knew now, I would not be a DJ.
You'd be
Sorry.
poor.
Would you
Sorry,
be a
Rob.
gigolo? Would you be a gigolo? What?
I'd be a gigolo. Sorry, Rob.
You'd be a male dancer. Nobody knows that. He took that career to another level.
Rob came to me as a young boy. He said, "Listen, I have Werther's Originals, and I can teach you how to DJ. Get in my van."
Yeah, there you go. Get in my van. I got some good vinyl in there.
Fantasy.
Don't mind that Russian girl. She's just sleeping.
I used to say to
So,
Dan,
Cyndi, I wanted to tell you the one time we took my wife to the strip club. It was funny, and she said, "Yeah, I want to go." And she says, "I want to go, and I want to see all these big boobed women." Every single woman that night had smaller tits than the one that came up. It was they drug her on stage. It was a blast. Yeah, they were cute. They were nice girls.
But, you know what I noticed now? Like, I guess back when I was dancing, like the 80s and 90s and all that era there. So mostly mine was in the 90s. And from reaching over from the 80s to the 90s of dancing, everyone got a boob job. You know what I'm saying? So it was that era, which kind of went from, like I say, I guess mid 80s to the probably late 90s, and now it's gone backwards. Everyone just don't have boob jobs anymore. But it was that was in that era where everybody had boobs. You know what I mean? Everybody had a boob job.
I know. I had a reduction done in the 80s. Now I wish I could get half of it back again. But
I know. You had great. Ray had great tits back in the day.
What happened?
No. Man, we're talking about when I used to walk and fall on the floor. It was embarrassing to everybody. So.
That's because you're epileptic.
You had what was it, the man's ear?
Man's ear.
No, he had the knockoff. He had the bro.
The
bro.
bro's ear.
The bro's ear.
You look like a pack of steak. It was nuts.
Oh my gosh! Well, I'm glad you fixed that. Really.
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
So happy you did.
I donated the rest of it to 2 boys nowadays who I know are living a full life. So it's kind of neat.
Should have dated. You should have gave it to some of the strippers at the strip club. They could have used it.
Ed, give us a story from a strip club.
Yeah.
Let me think of a good one.
Ed.
Yeah.
I'll talk to the old guy up in the upper corner. Ed, tell us a nice story from the strip club.
I don't have any actually.
That's what I'm trying to think of something.
There's nothing funny.
I used to go with Rob a lot up to what was it, Dangerous Curves, Rob?
Dangerous Curves.
Yeah, I used to go up there a lot.
I've been there.
Hang out with him, and we used to have a good time.
Rob, you had
I
the job.
I was always very respectful.
I would be like, I know the DJ.
Yeah.
They used to ask me all the time, Danny J, he's not coming here anymore.
I was always very respectful, though. I must say that. Always. Always. It was always a lot of fun.
Well, you should. And you know what's funny too? When I first started going
out, then hold on.
Okay. When I first started, they live.
You going to get your man's ear?
He's in his bedroom. Yeah, he's gonna get his bro's ear.
Bro's ear, sorry.
Which is a code name for Saran wrap.
One Ray's picture, real quick, full. I want to
Take
see
his picture full. Okay, hold on.
Love you, girls. Be good.
No, that's back.
Oh my gosh. Ugh. Hi, Maggie's.
Look at that's where all the action.
That's where the action happens, right there.
It was right there.
That's where all the action.
Ray,
That's where all the magic happens, right there.
porn goes on, right there.
Now, I wanted to say hi to my daughter, who is a nurse on the front lines, and I wanted
Okay.
Oh, thank
Very
God.
good. Yeah.
Well, Ray, you should have put that dildo in the dresser drawer before you left.
Now, do me a favor, Ray. Ray, do me a favor. Get off the screen and have Joanne lay on the bed for me.
Yeah.
Right. Have her lay on the bed for me. She can be closed. I
But I'm
would.
afraid you would like that, but I'm afraid you would go into one of them dances, and it would be like, I don't know, like it.
Have her lay. She can stay clothed. She can be clothed. Just have her lay on the bed. I want to see
No,
what Ray. I want to see what Ray sees at the end of the night.
My honey's hot. I'm not going to lie to you.
She's like, come here, doctor.
I'm ready for my exam.
I'm ready for my exam, doctor.
I was the only one. I went to the doctor the other day, and you know how they tell you to go in and you strip down to a like a clothy robe or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm ready, and I realized, I'm putting on the robe. I'm at the doctor's office. Finally, then kicked in. I was at a foot doctor, so it was just like.
How
It was
cute
like,
is that guy?
Get off her.
She's adorable. She just wants to get.
so cute.
That is cute.
Joanne
But-
was asking me how long the show's going for, Dan. I told her 3:30.
What'd you say, Ray?
Huh?
I didn't
My wife was asking me how long the show's going to go today, and I said about 3:30.
It's about 3:30.
get
Well,
going. So,
I'm out now. I gotta go. Shit.
It'll be longer if she gets in the bed.
we're only 4 hours in, Ray. Calm down.
That's all. Yeah, seriously. No, but seriously, a lot of fun times at the strip joints. Obviously, the girls now, and we're going to end the show with this kind of. It's in because I'm friends with a lot of girls that are performers on Facebook and stuff like that, and mostly their posts are promoting, hey, I'm going to be working this shift, that shift, come on out, see me, blah 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 blah. Now they have to rely on stuff like what's that, fans only or only fans?
Yeah,
or,
for
stuff
tips,
like that.
yeah, that's gotta be a rough situation.
And like they're hoping that you'll pay a subscription to see her private dance for you on camera, just so they can make any kind of money.
Yeah,
And
that's kind of
it's
sad.
a shame because not for nothing. I think I was offered. They're like, oh, come see this, come see that, and I'm like, it's not my thing, but I'm not judging you. It's just not my
Right,
thing. I'm not gonna pay to see it. I can see it for
I
free.
gotta pay for it at home. I ain't gonna pay for it here.
Right, exactly. In fact, a mutual friend of ours actually came to me, Cyndi, with that same scenario. This was last year,
And asked you to.
yeah, and asked me to strip. Yeah, no, it was asking me like, hey, here's come do this, come do that, because times are tough, and I'm like, it's not my thing. I mean, if I was like,
I get it.
I would go live and see it dance, but like, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy in the center. I'm the guy on the end.
Well, I'm glad they like, exist because put me through go-go college. I had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It enabled me to get the time and to do whatever I needed to do. So, I'm
Yeah.
not ever going to knock it. Some of my friends are smarter and bought houses, so.
And not for nothing. Look at the accolades that you have, though, for a second. And you're so down to earth, but like you've been on multiple TV shows.
You're so much class, and it's such a pleasure to meet you. You really are a lot of fun. So
Thank
really
you. It's nice to meet you guys too.
Because I mean, you've done multiple television shows. You've done professional wrestling and had accolades in wrestling. It's not like you just wrestled. Like, guys, I don't know if you guys will understand this. Ed will probably understand this more than anybody. Cyndi is the first female WWF hardcore champion.
Really?
Yes, I remember that.
Yes.
Oh my God! I love Trish Stratus, but no,
She was number 2, right?
She was number 2, yeah.
She was
Trish
number
was
2.
really cool. Jason knew Trish. We're not gonna break, but yeah.
Yeah, Jason knows everybody. Fuck Jason.
You know?
So when's Jason coming on the show, Ray?
Jason's not going to. We do this way too early for Jason. He doesn't like to wake up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I go DJs and dancing. I'm like, what the hell are you doing at 9:00 in the morning? I'm like, you mean?
I'm so happy I knew Cyndi.
You should be getting home.
Right.
No, Jason sings for a monster cover band, and they're all. But they would never at 8:00. It ain't gonna happen.
No. He said it because Dad. I'm sorry.
Now, what is it you do? A monster cover band? You said.
He's Split Decision. He's with.
Yeah.
What's a monster cover band? You said.
Yeah, they're
cover. He's a lead singer for the band Split Decision.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, and he's very good. He's very good.
Yeah. When they come up, I need to go see these things.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, Danny, what's happening with your big party? Are you gonna keep it the same date, or are you gonna delay it?
I'm keeping it the same date unless they tell us no.
Okay.
Because Cyndi has graciously said, if with enough time, I will make my way out there and come to the party.
Oh,
yes,
cool.
that'll be fun. I mean,
all night for you.
Because you're coming from, where are you at now? You're in
Louisville, Kentucky. Kentucky.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So.
Damn, well,
Jersey girl in the Kentucky world.
Yes. And I said,
damn, wearing a mask to the party?
We might have to.
We might have to.
It would be a masquerade party.
Yeah.
What's your theme, Danny? What's the theme to your party?
Well, I'm going to wear a Spider-Man mask to my party. I don't know what anybody else is doing.
All right,
that's going to be a typical Friday night for Dan.
Yeah, the party should be the same. The funny thing is, my party is thrown by me because I work so much that nobody at this point ever includes me in anything because they figure I'm working and that I'm not going to be around to do anything. So I'm like, I throw my own birthday party because I'm like, guys, I took off. I'm able to come out. Let's go out and hang. This is like the one time a year you're going to hang with me where I'm not working. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times guys and girls would come out and hang with me when I was DJing.
Yeah. You know what? I had a lot of my girlfriends when I was dancing come in. So it's great. Like some of my best friends, a lot of them, because I was probably the only dancer, and they would come in and they have drinks and hang out, and then they go on their way or whatever. So it was kind of cool.
And you know what's messed up too is that when I'm DJing, usually you drink for free, is what normally happens. And when you go out, obviously you don't drink for free. So it's one of those things where it's like, well, come see me when I'm working because I don't want to spend money.
Exactly.
I don't want to spend money. You know what I mean? It's like,
Well, that's the thing. Like you sit with people, they buy you drinks all day. It's like, okay. It was great. I loved it.
It's the God honest truth, man.
You know, socialized, you got out, and you made money.
So hopefully, if worst case scenario, worst case scenario, if the party is not going to happen because of this, I will probably postpone it and throw it in like August or whatever date of it.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens with this crazy world we're living in now.
I know.
And what's going to be our new norm? I'd like to know because after this, life's not going to be the same.
Let me tell you something. I was grocery shopping, and to walk around with people wearing masks all over the place, like I felt like I was in fucking Chernobyl. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was scary. It was scary in the sense like I'm not scared, but I'm like, this is like very weird.
This morning I was talking to a woman. This morning I was talking to a woman in the supermarket. It was a sin. She had her makeup on, and she looked really, really hot. She was really nice, and she had a mask on. She took it off. She looked like the back end of Homer Simpson on her face. It was nice. She had like the white coming down. It was crazy.
It's a different world we live in now.
It really is.
Thanks to you guys, I'm going to rip my clothes off as soon as this show's over
It
because
kind of.
Me too.
It kind of makes you think, 'cause we're talking about all this striptease stuff, and it's basically you're selling sex, and then it makes me think of Naked Gun 33 and a third, whatever. When
Yeah, 33 and
Drebin,
a half.
when Drebin and the other girl, they have like the full body condoms on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
The new
Make it 33 and a half.
Yeah, that's what it kind of reminds me of. It's
Well,
like,
what every age changed the way we view sex, and now with this is how it's going to view the way we breathe. I don't know. Let's just see what happens.
it's very weird.
It's weird. I know that me and my wife are doing social distancing while doing sex, and it's a mess, and it's a real mess. But here it is. It's the new normal. It's crazy.
Yeah. Laptop, the laptop, and the
There's
desktop.
going to be a lot of pregnancies after this outing, and a lot of.
Oh, I got news for you. You're going to have a baby boom
Divorce.
after this.
And a lot of divorces too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know.
I'm afraid I'm going to have another 3 kids.
All at once.
All at once.
Cyndi, do you mind today when I write my Facebook blog if I use your name that I got to meet you today? Or
No,
it's about,
absolutely.
I just want to make
You
sure.
tag me in it. You could tag me in it.
Yeah.
You got it. Thank you so
Remember,
much.
check for $599 too.
Please remit.
Danny's the only person I know that went to a strip club and instead of threw money, threw his debit card. I thought that was really classy.
No, I ain't lying, dude. The very first time I went to like fantasy show bars, the first time I went, and I ran through whatever my money was for the week. I had no more money left. And I said, well, go ahead and tap the savings. You can tap the savings. They're like, we can't do that. I'm like, no, you can do that. Go ahead. They're like, no, we can do it. I said, dude, fucking tap the savings. I'm like,
I may not be back for a while.
I'm like, yeah, this is it.
Nothing.
This is it for me.
I get that.
Yeah, it always reminds me. There was that one,
$11 that was in the account, didn't you?
Oh my God.
it reminds me of that episode of Married with Children when Peggy takes what's her face next to, I can't remember their character's name. Marcy.
Marcy.
Yeah,
He takes Marcy to the strip club, whatever, and she's like, Peggy, you just put $1 in that man's. Why'd you put $1 in that man's pants? Where he's like, because my checkbook makes him walk funny.
Speaking of Married with Children, did you see the one where Al Bundy took his son for the first time and he showed a dollar bill trick where he takes
I do remember that.
he puts it down the girl's top and she walks away. He pulls it out.
I want to open up a strip joint, honestly, and I want to have it. I want to have it where all you see is Ed. Ed's my star attraction. Yes, that would be it. That's what you see at the strip joint. It'll be called I See. So. All right, please, everybody, tip Ed. Tip Eddie.
There you go. Yay.
Cyndi, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you guys. I always have fun. Thank you.
It was such a great time.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Pleasure meeting you.
Well, now we know. Use my computer from now on.
Yes, absolutely. This is perfect. Now, Cyndi, did you happen to remember from the last show we did? You didn't remember. Do you happen to have a website to promote that where they can go see you and stuff like that?
It just go on my Facebook, Cyndi Snow.
Yeah,
that's it. I have I have fan pages and stuff. Fan pages. My friend Shane and Cyndi page from the Drag Kings. Cyndi Snow from the Burlesque, and my regular Facebook.
And what's the Burlesque? Tell them what the Burlesque is. Yeah. The company.
Nashville Burlesque, because I work with them. They are in Nashville, Tennessee. They do a lot. BB Kings we did a lot at. If you I don't know their website right offhand, but
you sent me a link before. It's actually, guys, if you get a chance, look it up. The shows are pretty cool. I mean,
they're really awesome.
She sent me a link to some stuff, and I'm like, yeah, this is pretty fun. Like, I would like get hammered and go see this.
Well, you know what? Maybe we'll make one happen up in Jersey or something. That'll be fun.
That would be fun, and we'll all go there.
We'll drive up and do it.
Matt, you have to drive up. You have to drive up from the Carolina.
Costumes and stuff.
Yeah, so we'll have to see if I can make that happen. That's the thing, if I can make that happen, I obviously need an entire weekend because of a 12-hour drive. But
yeah, no.
I'll just drive up to Kentucky and I'll carpool with Cyndi.
Yeah.
Where are you at? Where are you at?
I'm actually I'm in South Carolina. Near Clemson.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I'm
I have a lot of
right
friends
there
out
in
there.
the upper
Too.
corner.
Yeah. So he's right near Atlanta. He's right near
Yeah, right.
Atlanta.
You're not
Well,
actually
no,
far. From me. You're like what, 7 hours?
Yeah, maybe that.
Yeah.
Maybe that. Yeah.
That's it.
I got
Cool with her.
Annie to make 7 copies
Okay.
of this on CD because I'm giving these to my friends for Christmas gifts. This is an awesome show today, and
This show is great. This show is great. I love
Yeah,
having
it is.
you on. Cyndi is like the light of my life. I love her for 30 years. I love this girl so
Yes,
much.
and I still love you too, Danny.
I do. You're awesome. You're so awesome. So once again, check it out. Check out the Nashville Burlesque.
Mhm.
You can look it up. You can see stuff on there. Are you Cyndi
We
Snow
can,
on there?
Yeah, Cindy Snow. I just
Is
stated
it-
that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And we can always put a link to it in the description of this video once we get it.
And not to bring up a sore spot, but because Ed will know this. Ed, she's formerly married to Al Snow. To give you a connection.
Okay, yeah.
He's like, ah,
That sucks.
that
Oh,
fucking guy.
Yeah.
I'm such a lucky gal.
So lucky she is.
So lucky.
But see now there's your connection because Ed's a wrestling fan. Ed is a true
Okay.
Love wrestling.
Yes.
Yep.
Wait, who's the one that mentioned that in the thing? Like, oh, and I'm like, nope.
No. Oh no, one of my other hosts of one of my other shows.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, sorry.
Not only did he spell your name wrong when he mentions that, it's like, oh my god.
I'm like,
digging a
Tom,
hole.
I don't care.
And you were so politically correct. You're like, oh, that's okay. It's all good. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Who cares?
Yeah, I'm just afraid that Danny's friends of the girl that's from the Tiger King next. Who knows what the next show is going to sound like?
Oh, yeah.
Carol fucking
That was the
Baskin.
next show.
Oh my God!
Live
Yeah.
from the prison.
We'll do a show on that too. If you guys have watched Tiger King, we'll do a Tiger
No,
King.
that I
show, yeah.
actually saw that years ago, maybe about 6-7 years ago. They did that on the. I'm a huge fan of the ID channel, so they showed that on the ID channel. They just took.
Oh,
Yeah,
was it years ago? Really?
well, yeah, ID channel, any crime that happens. So most of that documentary, they elaborated a little more, and I guess they had more footage. But
Yeah.
most of that documentary was on the ID channel like 6 years ago.
Well, yeah, because you know why? Because that was a different show that they were filming. That
Right.
became the documentary.
No, they
Yeah.
took, I mean, that's all old footage, which they used a lot of that for the ID channel when they were talking
Yeah.
about his life.
I
You
love
know,
the
for
ID
him
channel.
for hiring for murder. I mean, it's not like
Yeah.
people are talking about how he mistreated the cats. That's not the case. The case is that he tried to get that woman, Carol Baskins, killed, whom she killed her husband, and she's walking around free, which is like crazy.
Exactly.
But
I
now
haven't
they
moved
reopened the case. Now they reopened the case on her.
They should.
Yeah, I even for
Mhm.
next week for me, I'm calling myself Ray Erotic. It should be really a lot of fun.
Right,
So,
erotic.
Ironic.
Yeah.
Right, erotic. I love that, dude. Right, that's great.
That's a good
Now-
handle
now-
for you, dude.
It really is. Now, do me a favor. Get out of the screen and put Joanne on the bed for me, real quick.
She's downstairs.
Well, get her upstairs.
Guys, let me tell you something. Dr. Rock is Dr. Rock Ray Thomas. That's what we're talking
I'm
about.
gonna have to put Joanne in my burlesque show or what?
Joanne is the butt of every sex joke on this show, and it's a shame because she's a wonderful woman. She is a knockout. She's a beautiful woman.
Oh, she needs to do burlesque with me then.
Yeah, she would be.
Absolutely. I've said it. I've said it to her many times. You need
Yes.
to get with girls, but
Joanne-
it never works out.
And let me let you know before we end the show. Let me let you know something. Not only is Joanne a good-looking woman, right, and is built really nice, but she's got practically a best friend, and that woman's a nice-looking woman, and she's built really nice. So it just keeps going on. It's a Cinemax movie.
You don't invite Danny over the house. Is that what you're
Never.
saying?
I'm not out of the house.
I
No, no,
can't.
no.
I can't even invite him to the same restaurant without a
Yeah.
security patrol.
Training.
Yeah. Ray has to sit.
Danny will
She
start humping
You know,
her
Danny,
leg.
I love your wife. She puts up with you. She's amazing. You know that.
does. 25 years I'm with that woman.
I'm telling you, I love her. She puts up with you. She could care less. She's like, ah.
No, she really can't. No less. She's like,
And I'm with mine for 40.
Oh my
you
God.
know why? You know why, Cyndi? Because I'm diabetic and nobody wants me. That's why.
Exactly.
Nobody wants me. They don't want to deal with this. You know, I'm
And
a
I totally
40.
been
I'm a
married
40
like 20 years, but to
I'm a-
different people at the same time.
right. I'm a 45-year-old man who's diabetic and watch cartoons. Nobody wants to deal with that at all.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
now
there's no
in the
consequence.
old days,
Yeah.
in the old days, a random hottie walks up to Dan. Hi, what's your name? She zooms in out of nowhere. His name is my husband.
Yeah. Man, let me tell you something.
Now she's
My,
like,
my wife
that's
was
like, I had to take him.
my wife was such a cock blocker back in the day. Let me tell you something. It was hard dating.
sorry.
I think
Was
she's
she
part
really
vampire
doing it?
because I've seen her move 40
You're
feet
your
across the
husband.
room in like a split second.
Without even, yeah, she was like, you remember in Dead and Loving It? I'm going back to Leslie Nielsen, but like when they're floating across and he's like, stop it, and they get off the skateboards and then they walk over. That's what she was like.
She probably knows that
fly
name,
over.
cockblocker.
Yeah, well, you know what? She's only married to you. What
I
is she gonna do?
it makes it very hard to
No, you
date.
go ahead and do your thing. She
It makes
does
it
let
very
you do
hard
your
to
thing
date.
as much. She loves you.
As much as she could, but it makes it very hard to date. It really does.
Well,
But
you know,
anyway.
you know what? It's hard to date when you're married. Well, that's when I was married. I was like, I didn't know I was allowed to date. My ex-husband was, but I didn't know I was. You forgot to mention that to me. I'm like, wow, I didn't know we were allowed to date when we were married. That would have changed the whole. It would have been a game changer.
Wow.
For me.
You would still be married today.
Yeah.
You know?
Just think of how many women there are out there by simply saying, hey, you know what? You can date while you're married to me. I love you guys. I love you guys.
Seriously. I mean, it's like he was like doing his thing, and I'm like, well, I would have done the same if you would have let me know.
Well, you know what though? It's funny you say that though, because Rob, who has 19 kids, Rob, no, honestly, it's 9. And honestly, he has 9 kids. He has 9 kids. That's not a lot.
And they're great kids.
And that's 3 different women.
That's great.
And
We
Rob,
had sex 9 times.
Rob played the DJ role very, very well back in the day. DJs don't get what they used to get before. Now
Yeah.
they don't.
Yeah.
It really isn't. But back in the day, Rob looked like a young Freddie Prinze. Back in the day.
Ooh,
Yes, he did. And Rob used to light on really thick. He's like, hey, I'm the DJ, and he's been like, he had his groupie Eddie who was there with him in the jumpsuit.
There he is in the jumpsuit.
Me and Rob did a TV show together, man. I remember he looked like Denny Terrio in that white suit.
Danny Terrio.
Oh my God, it was great.
What show was that?
That was Dance Down.
Dance Down. Yeah.
Dance Down.
What was it?
Yeah.
Dance Fever, right?
Dancing
on air.
No. Well, Danny Terrio was Dance Fever.
Yeah, it's Dance
Yeah,
Fever, right?
Dance Fever.
Yeah.
I thought.
And yeah, so you know, it all is. So anyway,
I'm going to ask that beautiful wife of mine today because of you guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask her. I know she's not double jointed, but I swear to God, we're going to keep trying until we get it done.
Is Joanne? Is Joanne double jointed?
She's not double jointed, but every day I keep.
But she will be.
No, if I go online,
If you keep that attitude.
right?
Exactly.
If I go online, I can get certified. I can be certified as a yoga instructor in about 15 minutes. I'll be over and I'll get her. I'll get her ready.
There
I
you
got news
go.
for you. We'll be moving in the next 10 minutes.
Danny's got the ladder up to the window already. Who's on the roof? Oh, it's Danny. Don't worry about it.
He's on live from the top of the Thomas Tower.
I'll be live on Facebook as I'm breaking in Ray's house.
Hey, I got a ring on my front door. That should be pretty hot.
There you go. So anyway, once again, thank you very much, Cyndi. It was such a pleasure having you on. I really love having you on. Make sure you guys, you hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you're hitting the notification bar, and make sure you leave us some comments. You know, if you know Cyndi, put some comments up there. If you want to know more about what she has, we'll get the information for you. But jump down there and leave us some comments. We always want to hear from you guys. So for Eddie C, for Matt Sunner, for Rob Cannon, for Dr. Rock Ray Thomas, for Joanne, and for the very lovely Cyndi Snow. My name is Danny J. We'll see you after dark. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Looks like the sun's coming up. Was that as good for you as it was for me? Join us next time for DJ's After Dark.